Welcome back to Ben's Top 10. And when I was a kid, acting jobs were actually given to actors. You know the drill. I love cartoons and everything about them. And one of my favorite aspects of cartoons are the voice actors that bring the characters to life. Voice acting, in my opinion, is the best kind of acting because you have to make your characters come to life with just your voice. That's not easy. Another thing I love doing when watching new cartoons is seeing how many voice actors I can recognize just by hearing their voices. So today, I'm counting down my top 10 favorite voice actors that voice some of my favorite cartoon characters of all time. I'll talk about my favorite roles by them and why I love their voices so much. So, get ready to be wowed by the greatest thespians you've never heard of. Here is my top 10 favorite voice actors. Number 10, Jeff Bennett. I was surprised about putting this guy on my list. Before I became a huge animation analyzer, I just knew him for being in cartoons that I didn't like. However, looking back on his body of work, I come to see that he's made his presence known in some of my favorite cartoons. What I love about Jeff Bennett is he has a great voice range. He can voice nerdy characters and even voice the tough guys that beat up the nerdy characters he voices. My favorite roles he plays are Johnny Bravo, Mr. Jeepers and Candle, you know who from Freakazoid, Keswick, Ollie, and Larry from Tough Puppy, and Brooklyn and Owen from Gargoyles. Bottom line, Jeff Bennett can range from playing great sidekicks as well as to some humorous villains, and he's a great start to the list. Number 9, Phil Lamarr and Kevin Michael Richardson. I put these two both at number 9 because I don't want to make another top 11 video. Anyway, I love these two because they have some of the deepest voices I've ever heard. Not as deep as Barry White, but that's a hard act to follow. Phil Lamarr voices a wide variety of different characters, and I just love his vocal range. My favorite roles of his include the Green Lantern from Justice League, Wilt and Jackie Cones from Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, and Samurai Jack. That's right, Samurai Jack is voiced by a black man. That's freaking incredible. When I found out Phil was Samurai Jack, I was like, the Green Lantern is also Samurai Jack? I almost couldn't believe it. I also love Kevin Michael Richardson because he has the perfect voice for villains, so he gets a lot of villain parts. My favorite roles by him include Trigon, Mammoth, and Seymour from Teen Titans, his guest appearances on The Simpsons, and as Chairman Drek in the first Ratchet and Clank game. He even has had occasional live-action acting jobs. The quality of these roles vary due to the quality of the stuff he appears in, but my favorite appearance by him was in Comic Book the Movie. Bottom line, Phil Lamarr and Kevin Michael Richardson are two great actors that I hope to work with when I'm making cartoons in the future. Number 8, Rob Paulsen, a real veteran of voice acting. This man has become a real legend of his craft, and I can see why. I love his charisma and energy in every role he portrays. My favorite characters he voices include Yakko and Dr. Scratch and Sniff from Animaniacs, Pinky from Pinky and the Brain, Bird Brain from Tough Puppy, PJ from Goof Troop, Steelbeak from Darkwing Duck, Foulmouth from Tiny Toons, Buck Tudrussel from Time Squad, the Box Ghost from Danny Phantom, and of course, Achan from Hi Hi Puffy Amiyumi. Yeah, this guy's been in a lot of cartoons. What makes him amazing though is even though he's in his 50s, he's still cranking out great voices. It's as if he's never aged. What sets him apart from other voice actors is he never speeds up his voice or uses special effects. He can actually talk that high when he's voicing Yakko. Bottom line, Rob Paulsen is one voice actor that will no doubt get inducted into the Voice Acting Hall of Fame, if there is one. Number 7, Lorenzo Music. A lot of you casual cartoon fans probably don't know who this man is. Well, unless you're not a Garfield fan, then that's probably why. This is the man who voiced Garfield in Garfield and Friends. He didn't do much other voice work, but that's what makes him unique. He was able to give such a distinct voice to such a universal character that many people now recognize it as the main voice for the character. That's such an achievement. It seems hard to give a voice to a comic character, but Lorenzo pulled it off. Not to mention, his voice just seems so perfect for Garfield. It's got a lazy tone, and it just shouts out, "I'm Garfield." Voice actor that gave the voice to my favorite comic character of all time. Number 6. Mark Hamill. People like to joke that nobody other than Harrison Ford went anywhere after the Star Wars movies. Well, I say screw you to those people. And Mark Hamill is my reason for that statement. Mark Hamill was the one and only Luke Skywalker, and after that, he became one of the best voice actors in the business today. He's got such an amazing range of voices that I was always shocked to find out a lot of voices were done by him. My favorite characters he brings to life include Larry from Time Squad, the Hobgoblin from Spider-Man the Animated Series, Snakebite Scruggs from Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island, and of course, the Joker from DC Animated Universe. True, he hasn't been in a lot of cartoons I like, but his roles are so amazing that they make up for it. I could talk for days about how much I love his role as the Joker. He, in my opinion, provides the best characterization the character has ever been through. Sorry, Jack. Sorry, Heath. Sorry, Caesar. Mark Hamill is the real Joker. He is the only person who could show the Joker's insanity and madness while still making the character hilarious. That alone makes Mark Hamill amazing. Bottom line, Mark Hamill may have voiced a lot of characters, but it's the Joker that truly makes him a strong voice actor. Number 5. Frank Welker. Oh my gosh. This man has done so many voices that it would be impossible to talk about all of his body of work in a couple of minutes, let alone a whole video. What I love about Frank is his legacy. Since the late 60s, he's been in so many cartoons that would make a veteran of Hollywood movies look like they've done nothing in comparison. I also love all the different voices he's done, from voicing sidekicks, villains, and he is a master of animal noises. My favorite roles he's played include Abu from Aladdin, Runt, Ralph, and Thaddeus Plotz from Animaniacs, Booker, Sheldon, Bo, and Mort from Garfield and Friends, Santa's Little Helper and Snowball 2 from The Simpsons, Furball and Go-Go Dodo from Tiny Toons, Dr. Claw from Inspector Gadget, and Stripe from Gremlins. Even when he's in cartoons I don't like, I still like his roles, like Megatron from Transformers. Frank Welker is debatably the busiest guy in Hollywood, because when he's not voicing in cartoons, he's doing voices for movies. When they need animal noises, they go for Frank Welker. Bottom line, Frank Welker is a legend of voice acting, and to say that alone is an understatement. Number 4. Jim Cummings. Anyway, here's another guy who's pretty busy when it comes to cartoons. When you watch cartoons, do you ever get the feeling, hey, that guy's voice sounds familiar? More often than not, that's Jim Cummings' voice you're drawing connections to. What I love about Jim is he has a very awesome voice. No, I'm not kidding. His voice is amazing. I would watch Family Guy for his voice. No, I would watch the Looney Tunes show for his voice. Yes, I went there. My favorite roles of Jim Cummings includes Darkwing Duck and Negaduck from, well, Darkwing Duck, the current voice of Taz, Pete, Winnie the Pooh, and Tigger, Bonkers and Lucky from Bonkers, Ed from The Lion King, Razul from Aladdin, the Master of Games from Teen Titans, and Fuzzy Lumpkins from the Powerpuff Girls. Another amazing thing about Jim is he's an amazing singer. Remember when Scar was singing in The Lion King? Well, that was Jim singing for Scar half the time. For the longest time, I couldn't tell the difference either. There's also when Jim was the singing voice for Rasputin and Anastasia. Bottom line, Jim Cummings has an awesome voice that can range from big tough bad guys to hyperactive little guys. Number 3, Daws Butler. If you're a fan of classic cartoons, there is no doubt you've heard Daws Butler's voice in any of the classic cartoons you've watched. He has an incredible range of voices and voiced more than half of Hanna-Barbera's most famous characters. Some of my favorite roles of Daws include the Whistling Wolf from Droopy cartoons, Huckleberry Hound, Yogi Bear, Gabby Gator from Woody Woodpecker, his various voices on Rocky and Bullwinkle, the original voice of Captain Crunch, Quick Draw McGraw, and his faithful sidekick Baba Looey, and his various voices on Looney Tunes. Yeah, that's a lot. Daws' vocal range is also incredible. He put on so many voices that you wouldn't even believe he voiced so many characters. I can't even talk about all the characters he voiced. What I love about Daws Butler is he seems to voice a lot of stupid characters. I myself am a fan of stupid characters, if they are done right. Plus, he seems to be the only man who came close to match the voice actor that you'll see in the number 1 spot. Bottom line, Daws Butler is a legend of voice acting that was one of the writers of the job. Number 2, Dan Castellaneta. My gosh, I love this guy. Them all, which I will be willing to do one of these days. My favorite roles of Dan include Homer, Abe, Krusty, Itchy, Groundskeeper Willie, Barney, Hans Moleman, Gil, Mayor Quimby, Sideshow Mel, and Kodos from The Simpsons, Aladdin's Genie from Aladdin the Animated Series, Megavolt from Darkwing Duck, and Earthworm Jim. Yeah, a majority of his roles are from The Simpsons, but my gosh, they're great. What I love about Dan is whatever characters he's voicing is always a hilarious character. Every character that Dan voices always makes me laugh, and his range of voices are incredible. Not to mention that he's in his 50s and his characters still sound exactly the way they did when he first voiced them. Do you hear all those voices he puts on? That can't be easy. Bottom line, Dan Castellaneta is a great voice actor that has brought to life some of the most hilarious cartoon characters in history. Number 1. Say it with me, Mel Blanc. I just couldn't resist. I wanted so hard to not include this man as my favorite voice actor because he's everybody's favorite voice actor. However, this man is just too talented to not include as number 1. My favorite roles of Mel Blanc include Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, Porky Pig, Sylvester, Tweety, Pepe Le Pew, Foghorn Leghorn, Yosemite Sam, Marvin the Martian, Speedy Gonzales, Taz, Charlie Dog, Henry Hawk, Wile E. Coyote, Birdie, Rocky and Muggsy, and Private Snafu, and Mac from Looney Tunes, Barney Rubble and Dino from the Flintstones, the original voice of Woody Woodpecker, Gideon Figaro from Disney's Pinocchio, Mr. Spacely from the Jetsons, and Secret Squirrel. Oh no, I haven't even covered 25% of all the voices he's done. What I love about Mel Blanc is, he's freaking Mel Blanc! Do I even need to say more? He's the voice actor that all other voice actors look up to. He was the first voice actor to ever be given credit for his voice work. He didn't treat his characters like cartoon characters. He brought them to life. He gave them personality and made them feel more human than humanly possible. He is the man that introduced voice acting as a serious business. He made it a respectable form of performing arts, and that's an unbelievable accomplishment. Nobody, and I mean nobody, will ever come close to the level that Mel Blanc is on, and he truly was, as they call him, the man of 1,000 voices. And there are my top 10 favorite voice actors. I hope you enjoyed it, and I might have gave you a good lesson on what it takes to be a good voice actor. Voice acting is quite possibly the most fun job in the world. You get paid by just putting on voices and just having fun. However, that doesn't mean it's easy. Voice acting requires a lot of practice and hard work, and the payoff is a boatload of hilarious voices. So, who are your favorite voice actors? Comment below and we'll chat away. I'm Ben, and I'm signing out. I'm going to go count the total rows of all these voice actors. Yes, I have that much time on my hands.